Another thing that woke me up this morning was the fear of losing our democracy. Just the realization that we are witnessing authoritarian rise and fascism in the greatest experiment in democracy in the history of mankind. We are witnessing it. And my fellow Americans are so beat down, so apathetic, so cynical, so frustrated that people are throwing their hands up and saying, there's nothing I can do. It is what it is, and I can't do anything. And that's not true. We have these tremendous platforms that have never existed to try to say to people, if you see something indecent, immoral, illegal, wrong, hateful, divisive, if you see something like that, then you're supposed to say something. You're supposed to step up and say, hey, no, that's not fair. That's not right. That's not cool. And we have these platforms now, and for whatever reason, we're now afraid to say anything. We're afraid to say something in the face of bullying and mean-spiritedness and disharmony and ugliness and divisiveness and hatred and violence. We're afraid to stand for what's right. I have tried to separate my YouTube content, one of my channels from the other, because I didn't want to be political on one channel and I didn't want to offend people. But here's what you need to know about me. If I'm saying something that is unfair, that's immoral, that's illegal, that is divisive, that's hateful, that is against the responsibilities of my responsibilities as a citizen in this democratic republic, in this neighborhood, in this subdivision, in this city, in this state, if I'm saying something that's divisive, then you need to hold me accountable. We are losing our democracy, not because we have conflict and we disagree. We're losing it because good people are standing around and doing nothing. Trumplicans, and we got to call a spade a spade. This is not about a false equivalency, but you have to call people out and hold people accountable for what they're doing. Republicans have been cheating and lying and obstructing since Obama got into office. Remember, the number one objective, legislative objective, was to make Barack Obama a one-term president. It wasn't to lower taxes. It wasn't to increase family values. It wasn't to make government smaller. It wasn't to promote self-reliance and personal responsibility. It wasn't anything of the traditional conservative values. It was to make Barack Obama a one-term president. And we have seen the Republican Party just run towards authoritarianism, fascism. They're destroying voters' rights. They're banning books now. They're just the party of grievance. They have become the Trumplican party. And I'm not talking about all Republicans. There are some Republicans, a lot of Republicans, Republicans against Trump, military against Trump. The Lincoln Project, there are lots of Republicans who are saying, hey, Trump doesn't represent us. Liz Cheney, those Republicans on the January 6th committee, plenty of people who say they don't support Trump. The problem is the electorate. A third of this country are a part of that cult. A third. A third of this country, or the voting populace, voted for that man. And then a third didn't, but we got a third of us who are just sitting in the middle, who are the decision makers, that undecided, that apathetic, that cynical voter, that cynical American. This message is for you. You are going to be the difference between us continuing to have a democracy where people have the right to vote, where people have freedom of equality, where equality is offered to everybody, where we get to keep our freedoms, where we can criticize our elected officials, Well, we don't have to fear retaliation because, we're not in the cult. Or this loud minority of radical, fascist, authoritarian leaning, we see the authoritarianism. The whole world is against Vladimir Putin right now, but Donald Trump is praising him, calling him genius. He's been licking his boots for years because Putin is the one underwriting him. No banks would deal with him. Putin and those oligarchs in Russia are funding him. The solution is you need to use your platforms right now. There's got to be a movement of consciousness in this country. There's got to be citizen reform in this country if we want to save it. You cannot be apathetic. You cannot be cynical. You cannot throw your hands up and say it is what it is. That is a lie. That's a bullshit. It's false. That's what the power elite wants you to think. That's what the Donald Trumps of the world want you to think, that there's nothing you can do. You might as well be frustrated. That's why they overload us every day with negativity and desensitize us to violence and the lack of humanity and their indecency and his grift and his lies. He just ratchets it up. And now most recently is this whole thing. The whole world is saying, look, one country shouldn't invade another country. Russia should not be invading Crimea and Ukraine and its neighboring countries. But because you got an authoritarian dictator over there in Vladimir Putin, and you got our wannabe authoritarian dictator, Trump, over here licking his boots, they're using the media, they're using social media, they're using their influence to desensitize you. They're using psychological operations on us right now. Because if you're not a critical thinker, then you'll fall for all of this propaganda and noise you see and disregard your own sense of right, your own sense of decency, your own sense of freedom, your own sense of humanity. That's what they're counting on. They're counting on good people to stand by and do nothing. So this is the clarion call right now. We cannot reward these Trumplicans, these Republicans, these sycophant Republicans who are supporting this wannabe dictator. If we reward them in 2022 and 2024 like we did in 2016, when they obstructed with that damn Supreme Court seat for over a year, when they did nothing but obstruct Barack Obama and the president, and they did nothing to help the American people. All they did was obstruct, lie, and inflame. And they got rewarded with Trump and the entire legislative process here in America, with the House, Senate, and the presidency. If we do that again in 2022 and 2024, God help us. God can only help us, because we see every day this man, we have seen over the last 4 years, this man literally attacking the foundations of the democratic republic that the framers put in place. Those framers were racist, slave-owning bastards, but they put together a document that was powerful. Powerful because it's amendable. It has all of those checks and balances in it. And we have moved over the last 200 something years. We have moved toward that more perfect union. And so this is our moment. This is our time. This is my generation's moment. If we want to move to a more perfect union, we have got to at least, when we see something, we got to say something. It's not me being divisive, because I'm encouraging you to own your title as a citizen, as a neighbor, as an uncle. There are duties and responsibilities that come with our citizenship. There's consequences and responsibility that come with our freedom. And you don't hear anybody talking about that. Everybody wants to talk about what they want to do and what they got the right to do, but you also got responsibilities that go with them rights. So you better use your platforms to fight for democracy, to fight against these sycophant Republicans and these Trumplicans who are trying to turn America into an authoritative dictatorship, who are pursuing fascism flat out in our face. We are seeing it. And so take your partisan hat off. Put your citizenship hat on. Hold these people accountable for the stuff that they're doing. Let's get back to some shared values of pursuing the truth, being fair, working towards the common good. Let's get back to some honoring our knowledge and truth, and good grief. Use your platforms. Get involved. What's your responsibility as a citizen? What is your responsibility right now in this moment in time when we see the world about to spin out of control with this war in Ukraine and global powers struggling, trying to what? We have a responsibility